So hi, nice to talk to you.
Hey
Thanks.
Jamie, how's it going?
Good. I enjoyed the first three episodes, but to start off, why don't you sort of tease what's coming for your character this season? Because we've still got quite a bit of his season left.
Oh yeah, we're still going. We're still shooting it too. Yeah, I think it's been really fun to follow Rizwan's trajectory into season two. I think he's had a more responsibility to take on. Now he's stepping up as the head RA now that our other RA, Phoebe, has left. And so I think it's asking a lot of him to step up, and he's tasked with finding the new RA. And yeah, it's go time for Rizwan. It's he's not the new guy anymore. It's time for him to take initiative and take charge. And there's going to be plenty more of that coming for the rest of the season. And I'm really excited for people to get to see it. I mean, we've been shooting this second season since March. And yeah, I'm so excited that we're finally sharing it with people. So yeah.
Does that make it, you just made me wonder when you were saying that, does that make it difficult filming at the same time because you're like here and you're thinking about these episodes instead of what you're, I'm just curious if that, does that make it hard splitting your mind with that at all, or are you just kind of used to that kind of thing? Because I know obviously you always film it way before you talk about it anyway, so.
Yeah, it is kind of funny to have it air while we're still shooting the season. But personally, like I watch it once and then I kind of don't touch it anymore. Otherwise, like as an actor, I'll just go so crazy self-analytical. I can't be objective at all when it's like myself on screen. And yeah, I am still working. I am still telling these stories at the end of the season. So I don't want to get too caught up in what happened in the beginning because, after 17, 18 episodes, we're in a different place. So I think the trick to that for me is just to like watch it once, enjoy it, and then kind of put it aside for now and get back to work.
That's fair. So, you talk about, picking somebody new for the team. Why don't you talk a bit about that? What was it like working with him?
Yeah, Simon Wilton is the new member of the team from the Wilton line, and as you know, we're at Wilton University, played by Max Lloyd-Jones. It's been really cool working with him and having a dude to join the WIFA team, and I know the writers like the idea of us having a bromance and all that stuff on screen. So that's been a lot of fun. I think it's changed the dynamic a lot. In WIFA and on the show, and there's going to be a lot of more of that to come. I think it was one of the first big tasks for Rizwan as head RA to um, choose the next research assistant, and I think that was a bit daunting for him, and he's not sure if he made the right decision or not. But as time goes on, we'll see how Simon does at WIFA.
It sounds though like you're still going to be interacting with Phoebe, even though she's maybe not there right now.
Yes, I don't want to give too much away of how she is still involved, but I will say there's plenty more Phoebe to come. She's definitely not leaving the show in any capacity. I'm excited for people to see the ways in which she sticks around. There's also plenty of more Rose to see, and I know fans have been loving Rose's character as well. So yeah, they're not going anywhere.
But let me ask you, I want you to talk about the experiment that you do with the paintballs and the
Oh yeah.
revenge.
It was so much fun. Yeah, we were out in a park and we had people with the paintball guns and me making them read the Ten Commandments. So that's always a really fun aspect of the show is that there are dark, high intense moments, but there are also moments of levity back in the classroom, and each case kind of turns into a lesson for audiences and viewers to take something out of it and learn something from it. And I think that's the part where that's the aspect of the show that a lot of us are most excited by is that what can we take out of this? Our showrunner Erica says that it's not a who done it, but a why done it, and I think that's really cool. And ever since she said that, it kind of stayed with me because I'm like, that's a really good way to explain what we're doing here and kind of differentiates us from other crime procedurals.
That's true. Do you feel like you learn things watching it, like about people, about psychology, that kind of thing?
Every week I learn something, and I think that it applies to people. I mean, psychology is something that applies to everybody, and so even if it's not in the exact context of that week's case, I think the theories and the experiments and the things we do, I think and I hope applies to people's lives at home, and it'll even apply to my personal life in different ways. And I think that yeah, it's just something that everyone can kind of take something out of it. And I think in that way, our show can be educational at times.
True. Now, not story wise, but being in the first season, is there something that you kind of learned just I guess, from an acting perspective that you took into this season that helped you, having done a full season that you can think about that's maybe either you learned or it's changed since
Mhm.
the first season?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way to learn and grow as an actor is just by doing it, whether you're going to school for it or, you've been fortunate enough to book a role in something. I think just the act of doing it week in and week out for months on end, as we do, it's definitely taught me so much. And observing the great Jesse L. Martin has taught me so much. Working with him, finding a community on set and in the show, and being friends with all the crew. I think that something I'm realizing is that. Now that we've worked about 2 years or maybe even more on this show with all the same people, is that once you kind of find that safe environment on the set and you're kind of close with everyone and you know everyone, it really provides a space for you to do your best work versus like on the very first day, like I didn't know anyone. In a funny way that actually kind of helps Rizwan because the first episode is also Rizwan's first day. So maybe in a way that actually kind of helped my performance at that time. But at this time, Rizwan is he's been there for a while and he's the head RA now and he's found his stride. And that's the same exact dynamic I feel with everyone on the show. So it's cool to see these things mirror each other so much. And like I'm learning so much from Jesse L. Martin. Arash is learning so much from him as an actor, as Rizwan is also learning from Alec in as a psychologist. So it's cool to see these dynamics be mirrored in real life, and it really helps us with the storytelling.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got it on a lot of levels. Let me
Yeah.
ask you then, since you seem like you're close to all of them, is there anybody that maybe you haven't had tons of scenes with that you would like to get to have more scenes with and get to know a bit better?
Yeah, I mean, Trevina, Rose, I haven't had a lot of scenes with them. Mara, a little bit more in this season, but definitely not much last season. I would say the majority of my seasons, the majority of my scenes so far have been with Jesse and Molly, who plays Phoebe. And so, yeah, it's always exciting where suddenly I'll be with someone else. And I'm like, ooh, we haven't had scenes, together. But yeah, a lot of last season Molly and we wouldn't even see Mara and Trevina that much because our storylines were kind of in separate spaces. But yeah, I would say Rose is someone that I think would be really cool for Rizwan to get more time with. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where those stories go. And I can tease that there's a lot more of Rose to be seen over the rest of the season. So she's not going anywhere. And yeah, we're excited for everyone to see it.
Good to know. So, is there anything, and obviously this is second season, but is there anything that you, with your character, have a hard time at all connecting with, or you pretty much now get into his head easy?
Yeah, sometimes with the experiments and the theories, it's like a lot of psychological jargon that can be hard to like spit out. Like a lot of times when Molly, who plays Phoebe, and I are doing experiments, we're dropping percentages and we're dropping theories. So those scenes will be a little bit more tricky in terms of like the vernacular of it all. But otherwise, it's just so much fun to play Rizwan and seeing what they get up to. I think we have strengthened our show in the second season. I think we've gone up a few notches, and we're finding how to tell these stories in the most interesting way. Um, and yeah, it's always a new thing. Each episode, especially in the season two, is like its own beast, its own world. So I think it's really cool how we explore different themes with every episode. But yeah, I think in terms of like challenges, maybe getting those some of the jargon and some of the percentages can be a bit of a struggle sometimes, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And I think at this point, I'm pretty used to it. But yeah, sometimes like spitting out percentages and stuff, it can get a little jumbled in your mouth.
I was gonna say, do you guys end up cracking up a lot when you're doing that? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be funny, could not be funny. Is it hard to not crack up, I guess, is more the question.
Yeah, it's such a safe space too. It's not like, oh my God, he messed up. Like yeah, we're laughing all the time. We're just having fun. And I think especially at this point where everyone is so close, it just provides for such a comfortable, fun, easygoing environment on set. And I really value that sort of dynamic. I don't like the idea of someone yelling at you and like, wrenching a performance out of you by force. Like I don't necessarily believe in that way of working. I think that I view it as teamwork. I think that we're all going towards the same goal. So I think that kind of friendly, easygoing vibe that we have on set actually allows for the best work. So yeah, I think that's really cool.
Great. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I like this show. Like it's crime, but it is sort of light. wouldn't say it's lighthearted. I mean, it has dark moments too, but it isn't
It
like a
has
super
light moments, yeah.
dark, super dark like some of them are. So
Yeah, it's got a nice balance, you know. It's dark, it's also light. There's moments of levity, there's moments of education, there's also murders and crime and all that juicy stuff. So I like to think that, it's the full package.
yeah, it is. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your
Thanks.
time.